You guys may have seen this thing before, okay? This is a flow diagram or a number machine, as some people might call it. So you always have an input, which we put in on the left here. You see it says input. I'll take questions just now. I see people are freaking out, but here we have our input, okay? And then we have the middle part where generally you perform some sort of operation. So you will be dividing, we'll be multiplying or timesing or doing 2 at a time. Whatever it is you're doing, the number machine, stuff happens, and it will produce a output. Okay. Now, if we're given an input, for instance, in this case, we're given -8. How this works is you say -8, perform the operation, which in this case is +6, and you tell me what the output is. Okay. Now, if you start on the output side, as we can see here, we've been given a 2. To get to your input, who has an idea of how we get to our input, guys? When you're given an output, does anybody know how we would work backwards and get to our input? Angel, I saw Angel's hand just went up. Hi, Angel.
Hi, ma'am.
Do you have an idea?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's hear.
So, ma'am, we have to add 8 minus 8, -8 plus 6, and it will give us our answer.
Which is what?
Ma'am, can I calculate?
No problem. I see your answers in the chat. Let's just wait for Angel to calculate quickly. Remember, Angel, you can do this on a number line, right? And Angel actually answered a different question. I like the answers in the chat that I see. Mulalo, can you answer my question? I said if you've given the output, how would you get to the input? Mulalo. Okay, anyway, I see you guys say yes. So you would be doing the inverse operation. So to get from input to output, you perform whatever is in the bubble, and to get from output to input, you would do the inverse operation. So if we were adding, what would the inverse of addition be in our case here? We were adding 6. What would the inverse of adding 6 be? Subtract. Thank you very much. So instead of adding, we would subtract 6 because we're going backwards. Okay, now let's fill this in. I see you already gave me my answer for the first one, -8 plus 6, and that would be -2. I hope the hands that are up are people who are willing to help me. Okay, hands that are up. I hope you are people that are willing to help me. Let's hear what Kawe has to say.
Hello.
Hello.
Would you like me to give you the answer?
Yes, for the next one. This time we're given an output of 2. What would my input be?
Our input would be an output of 2 plus 6 is going to be, I believe, -4.
-4, because you're going to say 2, go backwards, -6, and you are correct. Beautiful.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, thank you. Who's going to do the rest of them with me? There we go. We have our -4. Let's hear. I love it when you guys participate. Lindo Bushle. Hi, Lindo. Lindo. Please explain how we get 4, says Milo Bushle. Yes, Lindo. I see you're unmuted. Do you have an answer for me? No. Okay. Someone said, please explain how we get to 4. Now, if you look carefully here, our flow diagram says to get from your input to your output, so we're going from left to right, we are going to add 6. It was a very bad idea to use a highlighter, so I'm going to cancel that idea in my mind and do something better. Okay, so just look at our rule. Our rule says to get from input to output, going left to right, we would be adding 6. Now I asked you guys, if we're going the opposite direction, if we're going from your outputs and we want the inputs, that means we're going in the opposite direction. And you guys told me so nicely that we would use the inverse operation, which means instead of adding 6, we are going to subtract 6. But remember, that's for going from output to input. So we had an output of 2. We're going in the opposite way, which is subtract 6. And that's how we got to -4. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. You guys are saying something very important. Use your number line. Use your number line if you still struggle with adding and subtracting integers. Let's hear. Sisanda, do you have an answer for me for the next one?
Good.
Sisanda, the answer is +6. I'm hoping that's what you said, but I can't hear properly. Okay, so that one would just be straightforward, right? We start at 0 on our number line, 0, which is there. We're adding, so we're going that way. And we're going to go 6 times. 1, 2, 3, blah, 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 blah. And you're going to end up at +6. Okay, Spile, give me your answer for the next one. Spile? Yep. Okay, Unati?
Ma'am, 6 + 6 is equal to 12.
12. Thank you very much, Unati. That was beautiful. Let's see. I was going to do the last one with me. Rikante, are you going to do the last one with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's hear what we have.
6 minus 33.
Ooh, we're starting at 33, remember? So it's 33, and then?
Minus 6.
Minus?
6.
What are we minusing? 6, thank you. And our answer is?
27.
Beautiful. Thanks, Rikante. That would be a 27. Okay, I think we sort of kind of get how flow diagrams work. Okay, so far I haven't seen anything that could be particularly tricky. I hope everybody is fine. I'm going to do the next one and then we will have a check-in. Okay. Kumo, you need to change the view. Okay, you need to change it to show the board and not myself. Now, guys, we're doing the same thing here. Okay, this time we just have 2 operations instead of 1. So the formula in the middle tells us that to find y in our case now is our output. If you can see it says output y. So to find y, you have to take x, which is our input there, multiply it by 2. Okay, 2x means 2 times x, the same thing. So you have to take your input, multiply it by 2, then subtract 3, and that will give us our output. Who wants to do the first one with me? Dimple.
Ma'am?
You want to do the first one with me?
No, I had a question.
Okay, what was your question, darling?
Is this a grade 7 class?
Yes.
Oh, then I'm in the right one.
Okay, wonderful. Let's hear what Grace has to say. Grace, you're going to do the first one with me?
Yes, Miss, I would like to help.
Beautiful. So how do we do the first one?
So, Miss, I think negative 12 times the positive 2. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. And then what's the rest of our sum?
And once you get the answer, you minus your answer with the 3, then you get your output.
Beautiful. So let's do it bit by bit. A positive and a negative will give you what? If you're multiplying a positive and a negative, what are you going to get?
A negative.
A negative. And 12 times 2 is how much?
It's 24.
24. So we have negative 24 minus 3. Now, how much is that? Let's see if we've been practicing our integers. What's negative 24 minus 3?
Negative 27.
Beautiful. Thank you, Grace.
Thank
That
you,
was
ma'am.
brilliant. Negative 27. Now, look what's happening here, guys. Look what's happening here. Okay. Oh, I see a lot of people said the answer is negative 21. So, okay, Meloguhle has an answer. Has a question. Let me first take Meloguhle's question. And then I will explain why the answer cannot be negative 21. Meloguhle, please raise your hand so we can find you easily. And I can ask you your question. Because, yeah, it's very hard to scroll down and find your name. Okay, there's Meloguhle. Yes, Meloguhle, what's your question?
Morning, ma'am. Oh, afternoon, ma'am.
Afternoon.
So I'm confused, ma'am. How do you say 24 minus 3 and it equals 27?
Negative
That's my
27.
problem. Yes, ma'am, negative 27.
Let's look at our number line, okay? We're at negative 24, right?
Yes, ma'am.
This side is negative 23. That side is negative 25. Because it works backwards. Remember, on the negative side, right? Negative
Yes.
26. So where are we starting with our sum? Negative 24, right?
Yes, ma'am.
We're starting here at negative 24. When you subtract, do you move to the left or to the right?
To the right, ma'am.
When you subtract,
Oh, no, ma'am, left.
that way, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And how many times are we moving to the left?
3 times.
3 times. So if I'm at negative 24 and I'm moving 3 times to the left, 1, 2, 3 at negative 27. You see how I got that?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. I understand.
So you must just draw yourselves number lines and then you decide where am I starting and which direction am I going. Then you check the answer. Okay.
All right, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. If you are adding, guys, that's the time you move to the right. So everyone who got negative 21, you guys were using the incorrect operation because we are subtracting. I hope we all understand now why it's negative 27. Okay, beautiful. Now, I'm going to go back here. We're doing inverse operations now. Let's see if anyone is going to be bold enough to do this one with me. Nosipo, do you want to do the next one with me? Nosipo? Nope. Okay. Global TK?
Oh.
Okay, there's a lot going on. Lindo Gusle? Okay, let me ask in the chat. It's okay. It's okay. I think something happened with connection, maybe. There we go. I'm trying to unmute you. There we go. Are you there?
Hi, ma'am.
Hello.
How are you? So, ma'am, we're gonna do the inverse operation by saying 3 divided by a negative 3 divided by 2.
Not really. Look here. We were first multiplying and then we were subtracting, right?
Yes, ma'am.
When you go the opposite way, you first have to add and then you divide. So you do them in order. Going from left to right, you run into multiplication before you do subtraction. But going from right to left, you first add before you do the division. So we're going to start at negative 3. We first have to add how much?
So we need to add our number line ish. So we're gonna add -3 is what do you call this? Minus 2,
The
1,
inverse.
0. Huh?
Okay, it is gonna be 0 because you're gonna say -3 plus 3, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Which is gonna be 0. Then you're gonna say
Yes, ma'am.
0 divided by 2, which is still just 0.
0.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Beautiful. I know that one might have confused people. Okay, yes, reverse bad mass. It's reverse bad mass. Okay, we are doing the reverse. I know bad mass always says you first multiply and divide before you add and subtract. But when you're going backwards in flow diagrams, you first add and subtract before you do multiplication and division. So we're doing the reverse of everything. You're doing the inverse of bad mass, you're doing the inverse operation, you just opposite G. That's what you're doing. Okay. Bad mass or bod mass. I know, oh no, but you guys are in grade 7, you still use bod mass. Sorry, guys. Sorry, we're doing reverse bod mass, Amo. So if you're going from right to left, you are reversing it. But if you're going from left to right, because we're doing the inverse operation, Olunga, check here. So if we first multiplied and then we subtracted, going backwards, you're gonna first have to do the part for the subtraction first. You first have to deal with that part first. That's why you add, and then you have to deal with the multiplication part. So you divide because we're finding the input. Yes. Okay, now we only have more outputs. Let's see if people are gonna help me with the outputs. Kaden. Hi, Kaden.
Hello, ma'am.
What's the output for 1? If my input is 1, what will my output be?
No, ma'am, I have a question.
Okay, let's hear your question.
Ma'am, how did you get -27?
We followed the rules. It says you take -12 multiplied by 2 and then subtract 3. Do you see here? Where I just drew the arrow.
Oh, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Okay, let's hear Dimple.
Ma'am, isn't it -1? Like if you say I think I said one times 2
Huh?
1 times okay, ma'am, I said 1 times 2 is 2 minus -3 is 1.
Is -1. Be careful.
Yes.
There we go. So it is -1 because you're going to say 2 times my input, which is 1, subtract 3. This is going to give you 2 minus 3. And if you follow my rules on the number line, you will see that your answer is -1. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay, let's see when we have an input of 2, what will my output be? Who have I not spoken to today? I like hearing your voices. Kulufelo, let's hear what Kulufelo has to say for us. Hi, Kulu.
Hi, ma'am.
If my input is 2, what will my output be?
Ma'am, our output would be 1, ma'am.
Output would be 1. That is beautiful because we're going to say 2 times 2, which is how much?
2 times 2, which is 4, ma'am.
And then subtract 3. And then that's why we end up with an answer of 1. Thank you very much. And now we are left with our inverse operation. Let's see if Katleho wants to do this one. Katleho.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Ma'am, I think at the last one, we're going to say 67 plus 3.
And then when you're done, you're going to
Divide.
by.
And 67 plus 3 is equal to 70.
And then
when we divide 70 by 3, ma'am, can I please calculate?
no problem. Then you're going to say 70 divided by, what are we dividing by? 2 or 3? Look carefully.
By 2.
By 2. So what's my answer?
It's 35, ma'am.
35. Thank you very much. I see a lot of people saying, ma'am, I don't understand. Please be specific so we can help you. Please, 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 please. That is beautiful. Okay, so then our input will have to be 35 in order to get an output of 67. Excuse me, I buffered for a moment. Okay. Oh, if you just got you guys, you will have to watch the video. I can't start all the way at the back. Okay, guys. Okay, now we have to find the rule, guys. Now we have to find the rule. How do we get from our input to the output? Okay, I suggest you start with ones that have both input and output. Otherwise, it will be impossible to find the rules. So this thing is saying to us, if you plug in 0, you perform some sort of operation, then your answer will be 7. Who has an idea of what our rule could be? Oh, I see Gatlejo has the correct idea there in the chat. I love it. Kitumedzi, let's hear what you think our rule is.
Ma'am, I think our rule is we need to add 7.
Add 7. So then y will be equal to x, which is our input, plus 7. Let's test it, okay? I suggest you test it. Let's test it with an input of 0. So 0 plus 7 is indeed 7. So that one's right. Let's test it with our second input. 1 plus 7 equals 8, which is what we want. And if you test it with our 2, you get 2 plus 7, which is 9. That's correct. The reason I am testing it is because there could be more than one rule that doesn't apply to all of them. Because I know someone could have said, ma'am, what if you multiply by this? So you have to test it more than once to see that it works. Okay, I recommend that you check your work each and every time in maths. So now we have our rule. Okay, so our rule is x plus 7. Now we want the output for we want the input for an output of 6 and an output of 107. Let's see who's going to do those ones with me. Mulalo.
Ma'am, isn't it because when we're using the additive not the additive, we're going to say -1 plus 7, which is 6.
Yes, so you start at 6 and subtract 7 because we're doing the opposite, right? And that'll tell us that our input has to be -1. Let's hear the last one, Kawe.
Hello. The last one. So 107 to y 100.
107 minus 7, which is 100. Beautiful. Thanks, Kawe. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
100. Beautiful. I love it. I feel like we're all getting it. I'm seeing a lot of questions in the chat. But I think we can do our last flow diagram before we head over to our brain break. Last flow diagram, and then we're heading over to our brain break. Okay, let's see. I did not get the last one on the equation. Okay. Who was it? Who said that? Olunga. I did not get the last one on the previous equation. Is it this one or are you talking about that one? Because if you're talking about this one, we did the opposite, okay? Remember, we're doing reverse BODMAS. So if we're given 67, you must first do the inverse of a subtraction, which is addition. So you're going to say 67 plus 3. That'll give you 70. And then the inverse of multiplying by 2 will be dividing by 2. That's how we got to 35. Okay, we're going to do our last input and output before we go on to our brain break. All right, let's see. We have an input of -1 and an output of -2. Who knows my rule? Huizi.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello.
The rule is y equals to x plus 1.
Is it plus 1? Check again.
Yes, it's plus 1.
Okay, if you have a -1 and you add 1, what's your answer going to be? Think about it. If you had -1, 0, 1,
0.
your answer is going to be
It's
0. Is that the answer that we want?
no.
No,
It's
so it cannot be plus 1. You see?
yes.
We have to try again. Let's see if someone else can try again. Unless you think you
Okay.
have it.
It's
Let's check.
plus 2, ma'am.
No, it's not plus 2. Let's see if Latita knows what it is. Latita? Latita. Okay, Latita's not speaking. Unmuted but not speaking. Mukona?
Ma'am, I think it's -1.
-1. Brilliant. So you're going to say it's x -1. And of course, we're going to test it. So if x is equal to -1 and you subtract 1, it is indeed -2. So the rule works. And then let's check one more.
Okay, ma'am.
Is it -1 though? Nope. I just saw something. Check here. See why I said we must check. Because look at the second one. If x is 0 and we subtract 1, we're supposed to get an answer of -1. So it cannot be -1. Oh, that tricked me, guys. Ooh, hectic. I can't believe I got tricked by that one. That was a difficult. I can't believe. Okay. Let's hear. Who's laughing? You guys just miss my silly jokes. I can't believe this. Oh, it cannot be. Let's hear if Mpo has it. Mpo?
I think that it's -1 plus 2.
-1 plus 2. No. Guys, remember multiplication can work as well. Okay? That is a
Okay.
good clue that I'm giving you guys there. Multiplication can work. Miss Cat. No other way, guys. It's difficult. Yes, Melobutle wants to ask me something. Melobutle, is your hand up? I see your messages in the chat. You never give me questions, Melobutle. Where's Melobutle? Let me unmute you. You guys miss this silly stuff. Stop it. I'm supposed to be behaving. Yes, Melobutle, there we go.
Ma'am, I think it's +3.
+3.
Yes,
But when
ma'am.
you add a -1 plus 3 is definitely not -2, it's +2. Do you see that?
Oh, okay, ma'am. All right, ma'am.
What we can do, guys, is check the difference between our outputs. Okay, how do you get from -2 to 1? Anybody know? How do we get from -2 to 1? This is a trick that I'm gonna, a little undersleeve trick that I'm teaching you. Nope, we don't -1, guys. -2 to 1. Draw your number lines. We're not drawing our number lines. +3, thank you, global guys, come on. We're adding 3, right? Because -2 plus 3 is equal to 1. 1 plus 3 is equal to 4. Do you see where I'm going with this? So we kind of have a trend. We can use, I'm not even sure if you did number patterns. I'm hoping you did number patterns. Okay. We can use our rule of number pattern that says we take this number, which is our constant difference. So we're going to say 3 times my input, but 3 times -1 is definitely not -2, right? So you have to check, how would I get from -3 to -2? And that would be by adding 1. I know that was a lot of information, so I'm going to go slower and repeat it. Okay. I'm going to go slower and repeat it. Check what we're adding and subtracting. What are we adding and subtracting? We're adding 3, right? Plus 3, plus 3, plus 3, plus 3. So now we're going to use this number that we have established. We are adding or subtracting. In our case, it's our 3. And we're going to multiply it by your input. So let's do that. Let's do that. So I'm going to say 3 times -1 equals. This is going to give me -3. But -3 is not the output that I'm looking for, guys. I am looking for -2. So you have to ask yourself, what can I do to -3 for it to be equal to -2? And that's how I ended up with a +1. Now, if you check my rule, let's check if my rule works, okay? Let's check with an input of 1. 3 times 1 plus 1. What's 3 times 1? It's 3. If you add 1, it is 4. Do we see? So it does work. It does work. Okay. Guys, if you are speaking in the chat, you will not understand what I am saying. All right? Stop typing in the chat. Okay? Give me a minute. If you stop typing in the chat and listen, you might get it. I'm going to say it one more time. Okay. You establish, step 1, I said, establish what we are adding or subtracting. You guys said to me, to get from -2 to 1, we add 3. To get from 1 to 4, we add 3. So we keep adding the same number over and over and over again, right? We have established that. So you're going to take that number that you keep adding over and over and over again, and you are going to multiply it with your input. So you said it's 3, because 3 is what we keep adding. So you're going to say 3 times any input. Just choose any input. Okay, I'm going to choose 1. Let's choose 1 this time. So you're going to say 3 times 1 equals, and the answer is going to be 3. But when you plug in 1, you do not get an output of 3, guys. You get an output of 4. So tell me, what do I have to add to this 3 to get to 4? I have to add a 1 equals 4. That means to get from your input to your output, you have to say 3 times the input and then add 1 for it to get to where you want. Okay, if you still haven't gotten it, it might be because we haven't done my number patterns yet, but you can watch this video over and over and over again, and I promise you it makes sense. Mutale, do you have a question?
Yes, ma'am. I know the rule.
Okay, what's the rule?
Times 3 plus 1.
Thank you very much. Times 3 plus 1. So since I have you here, what is my output if I plug in 40? If I have an input of 40, what will my output be? Yep, she's like, bye, I'm done. Dimple?
Ma'am, I have a question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you give me a bit of an advice?
Okay.
I have a test next week. I'm writing
Okay,
an
but not
exam.
now. Okay, wait until the end of the lesson. Now we are chatting strictly about what's happening in the lesson. Okay, La Rona, what happens if you plug in 40? What will my output be?
First you multiply 40 with 3, which equals 120, plus 1 equals 121. So the output is 121.
That was brilliant. Thank you very much, La Rona. Plus 1, which is 121. I need someone to help me what my input will be for an output of 7. Trish. Trish?
11.
Trish? Okay, Trish has vanished. Let's do this and this. And Hannah. I haven't heard from Hannah today. Hannah?
Yes.
Do you have a question or are you helping me?
I was gonna help you with 40, but
Yeah.
Don't you want to help me
I
with
can
this one? We're
I
just
can
doing the
try though.
opposite. Let's
I
try
can
it.
try.
Let's do it together. So we're
I
going the
think
opposite way, right?
yeah, so 7 minus 1, which would equal 6. And 6 divided by 3 will equal 2.
Beautiful. You see, you can do it. So this is 2. You guys are brilliant. And I am, wow. Okay, I think we need a brain break. Okay, we need a brain break. I'll come back to questions if I need to. But for now, we're going to have a brain break. I think our brains are a little bit exhausted right now. So let's go to a brain break, Miss Cat style. Okay? I have taken over your brain breaks. We are playing Would You Rather. So you guys must tell me, would you rather only be able to whisper or have an incredibly loud voice when you speak every single time? What would you rather have, guys? I feel like I know what I would rather. Swelihle? Let's hear what Swelihle says. Nope. Whisper and loud voices. Kitumetse.
Ma'am, I'd rather whisper because if I'm
Hi,
loud.
Kitumetse. How are we gonna hear you?
Sorry, ma'am.
We
I'd
won't be
rather,
able to hear you.
ma'am, I would rather whisper.
Okay, that's fine. Let's hear what Tara Jane has to say. Tara Jane.
Now I would also whisper because I'm
Ah.
already a soft person. Like I don't speak loud.
Oh, that's adorable. Okay, guys, let's see our next one. I feel like whispering is winning. You will give people a headache. You guys are terrible, actually. Okay, would you rather eat a raw potato or a whole lime? Would you rather eat a raw potato or a whole lime? That sounds disgusting, actually, both of them. But let's hear. Khotatso, what would you rather do?
Ma'am, I would rather eat a whole lime.
A whole lime. Isn't that sour? It's gonna make your taste buds explode.
It's better than eating a raw potato because it might taste so disgusting and yeah.
And it's starchy. It has starch, guys.
Exactly. I wouldn't.
No ways. I'm actually with you on this one. I wouldn't eat raw potato. Tara Jane, don't laugh. It's a traumatic experience. I can just imagine. Those who would rather eat raw potatoes scare me. Okay. Would you rather sweat honey or always smell like a skunk? Dylan. Dylan. Oh, Dylan is not. Oh, there we go. Hi, Dylan.
Hi, ma'am. I'd rather sweat honey because, like when you
Do
smell
you
like a
know how
skunk-
sticky you will be?
Yes, ma'am, but it's better than smelling like a skunk because, like, none wanna talk to you and all that stuff. So,
Girl,
yeah.
you're gonna sweat honey. Hi, guys. If you sit, you're gonna stick. Can you imagine moms, guys? Your mom will be like, you are sticking all over my furniture. No ways. No
But ma'am,
ways.
can't you just like eat it?
Ew,
Like-
you're gonna eat your own Oh, guys. Woo! I can't. I'm actually dying right now. Okay, I think I have one last one. Oh, 2 last ones. Would you rather eat chocolate that tastes like poo or poo that tastes like chocolate? Let's hear. I like it when I miss you guys' lives up. Tatenda?
Ma'am, I would rather eat chocolate because I love chocolate a lot.
But chocolate that tastes like poo. Guys, you'd rather eat poo. I'm very worried about you guys.
No, I'd rather eat chocolate. Chocolate's my favorite.
I am actually shook. I actually can't do this with you guys. Like, you'd rather eat poo, guys. I don't care what it tastes like. It's poo. Where does it come from? No other way. You guys are traumatizing me. I actually can't. Okay, here's my last one. Would you rather have 1 eye or 2 noses? Let's hear. Mr. Hugo has been very quiet and working hard. Sir, would you rather have one eye or two noses?
I think I would like to have maybe rather two noses because I don't want to miss out seeing anything. So I'd rather keep my two eyes and just add another nose.
Oh my goodness. Where are you going to put it? Guys, you must think of these things. What if it goes on like your forehead? Like, I'm so traumatized by this.
No, I'll put my nose under my shirt somewhere. I can't have people see it.
Just hide it, put a beanie over it or something. Be like,
Exactly.
yeah. All right, I get it. I get the vision, sir. I get the vision. Whew, okay, guys. You guys are strange with your responses, but I love you guys anyway. Okay, I'd rather have one eye because I don't know where I'm gonna put my other nose. I'm really sorry. I don't know, like one per cheek or I don't know. But anyway, let's continue with our lesson. Bombastic side eye. Let's see. I am definitely judging you guys. I'm definitely judging you guys. Your responses have yay, English just ran away. They have shaken me. They shook me. Hey, you get what I mean, guys. You guys get what I mean? Okay, now we're going to do the same thing. This time it's just in table form. So if you see how these tables are set up, our X is our input. So everything that's in the first column here, the first row, excuse me, the first row will be your input. And then anything that is in the bottom row over here will be your outputs. So wherever you see an X, you substitute whatever is in the pink row. Wherever you see a Y, you substitute whatever is in the yellow row. Okay, that's what we're doing now. So let me do the first one for you. It says my input is -4. So you're then going to say, therefore, Y equals your input, which is -4 minus 8. We go check on our number line, and this will give us -12. So then for -4, you would have an output of -12. Okay, now who's going to do the next ones with me? Let's see. Who's going to do the next ones with me? Nosipo?
Ma'am, I have a question.
Okay.
Ma'am, where did you get 8?
It's in the formula.
Okay.
Y equals X minus 8. Can you see the formula?
Yes, ma'am.
That's where I got it. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Lefa. Okay. Larona.
5 minus 8 equals -3.
Thank you very much, Larona.
So Y equals -3.
There we go. Which is -3. -3. Great. Now, if we have an output of 0, let's see if we know how to work backwards and find our input. And Angel.
Hi,
You're
ma'am.
gonna help me with this one.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello.
Sorry, ma'am, I wasn't here, ma'am. I lost connection. So, miss, I don't really understand what we're doing right now.
Okay, you're gonna have to watch the lesson when we upload it, okay? Because unfortunately I can't start now. Just try and keep up for now what's going on, but you're gonna have to watch the video of the parts you missed. Okay, let's hear. Swelihle? Nope. Lefa? Okay, guys, if your hand is up, I assume you want to answer. So I'm gonna lower all hands. If you raise your hand now, I'm assuming you have an answer, okay? I'm assuming there we go. Glover TK.
Ma'am, we'll do inverse operation by saying +8. So to be 0 plus 8, that gives you 8.
Thank you very much. +8, which is 8. Brilliant. And then we have an input of 21. Spile. Okay, Katleho.
Ma'am, I think in order to get the output, you are going to say 21 minus 8, which is equal to 13.
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, and now we have the last one. Luniko.
Ma'am, the answer to 42 is 42 plus 8, which is 50.
50, because we're doing the inverse operation. So it'll be x equals 42 plus 8, 50. Thank you very much. That was wonderful. I almost said cute, but then like I realized that would be weird. Okay. Let us move on to our next table. I think you guys are getting this. I personally think you guys are brilliant at this, and I am loving it. I'm here for you guys. Museki, are you answering this with me? Museki? No. Unati?
Ma'am.
Hmm?
Wait,
Okay.
ma'am, wait, ma'am.
Okay, I'm gonna do the first two ones here because we're running out of time and we're all quiet. So this time, the output is a B instead of a Y. You guys need to get used to using different variables. It won't always be X and Y, okay? So for an output of 0, so 0 will be 2A plus 10. So we're doing the inverse operations because they gave us the output, right? So I said you first add and subtract before you divide and times. So instead of saying plus 10, you're going to say 0 minus 10 because it's the first part of your, of your equation. So you're going to say 0, if my pen can work. Even my pen is tired, guys. Can you believe it? Okay. And now it's drawing circles and swirlies. There we go. Nope, never mind. 0, that's a highlighter. Not funny. 0 minus 10 will give you minus 10. Then you divide by 2 because we're doing the opposites. So it'll be negative 10. Then you say negative 10, divide by 2, and that will give us negative 5. So for an output of 0, my input will have to be negative 5. Let's do a fire round. Everyone in the chat, tell me what my answers are going to be for input of 0, input of 2, input of 12, and output of 24. Fire round means everybody answer. That's what it means in the chat. Once you have an answer, tell me what your answer is. That's going to be the last thing we're doing for today. It isn't funny, Kemkhitsi. I was losing it for a while. Hey, I see answers coming in. Let me check them. Let me check them. Okay. So B equals 2 times 0 is 0 plus 10. So it will be 10. So for input of 0, your output will be 10. For an input of 2, it's going to be 2 times 2, which is 4, plus 10, which is 14. For an input of 12, it's going to be 12 times 2, which is 24, plus 10 is 34. And for an output of 24, you have to say 24 minus 10, which is 14, divided by 2, which is 7. Check yourselves, give yourselves a mark out of 5, and that will conclude my lesson for the day.